What's up, boys and girls? Cyclone9 here once again with some Path of Exile 2 content. Today is all about crafting, and specifically, we're going to do body armor first. I'm going to show you how to craft some epic gear, either to upgrade your own gear or to put on the market to sell and make some currency for your time. So let's get right into it. What I've done so far is I have collected a bunch of crafting bases. Like as I mentioned, we're going to start with body armor, and I think the crafting base I found the most of for today's example is going to be the Keth Raiment. This is a high-level energy shield base. I'm a minion infernalist, a witch minion infernalist, so I'm running energy shield. So the thing you want to do is, if you're running armor, you want to collect some good bases that are the highest in armor. If you're running evasion, same thing for that. Collect high crafting bases that are high in evasion. Today we're doing energy shield. So I'm going to pop these right in my inventory. So we're ready to go. Going to grab some exalts, because we'll probably need those, I hope we get to that stage in our crafting journey. And one thing I just wanted to mention really quick, to figure out what the best bases are for you, you can actually use an amazing website, which I will link in the description of the video. It's called Path of Exile 2 DB. So let's head over there. And what I've done to get to this page, what this is showing all the mods or the affixes that can be on body armors, and specifically intelligence-based body armors, aka energy shield bases. To get to this page on Path of Exile DB, you just hover over the modifiers tab over here, click on modifiers, and then it's going to bring you to this lovely list of all the different types of gear. So today, as I mentioned, we're looking at body armors. We're looking at specifically intelligence-based body armor, so I clicked on that. And then what it did was it brought me to here, which shows all the different modifiers that can be on body armors. So for those of you that don't know, each piece of gear in Path of Exile can have up to 6 affixes, and they're broken down into prefixes and suffixes. So if you hover over any piece of gear and then you hold the Alt key, you're going to notice a couple different things. So on the left-hand side here, it's kind of faint. It took me a while to actually realize it was here. Excuse me. You'll see that these modifiers up here on the top are the prefixes. These modifiers down here on the bottom are the suffixes. You can have 3 of each for any piece of gear.
Next component to this, I'm still holding Alt to see this information. On the right-hand side, it shows you the tier of that affix. The higher the tier, the higher the range of rolls you can get to that specific affix. So you can see T7 is a pretty high tier for Spirit. T7 energy shield max energy shield, percent increased energy shield, pretty high. T9 for maximum life. I have a tier 5 cold resistance. I have a tier 5 intelligence. And I have this one which I don't particularly want for this build, so I could chaos it. Be a huge gamble. But a tier 11 life regeneration. It's not completely worthless, but I would be looking for some other things ideally. So let's go back to PoE DB for a second here. What ideally do I want? If I could have 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes on my armor, what are the ideal rolls for me to get? So I want the most energy shield you can get, and then essentially I want the highest amount of resistances I can get. And then in addition, Spirit is a really, really big one for my build, being a minion build, which each minion you have requires a certain amount of Spirit. So I want high energy shield, I want Spirit, and I want resistances. Chaos resistance is the hardest resistance to acquire. So ideally I'd have some chaos resistance and then some additional elemental resistances. So if I can have 3 prefixes, I want some combination of energy shield, flat energy shield, percentage energy shield with a life, or you can get this other prefix, which is flat energy shield and percentage energy shield in one affix. Any of those will work. The other one that I would really like to see is plus to Spirit, flat Spirit increase. So if I get a high tier of any of those on my prefix, we're looking good. For suffixes, the number one thing I'd like to see is chaos resistance, followed by any elemental resistance, and then third off, a really high attribute roll would not be completely bad, because I do need some strength in this build, need a fair amount of intelligence, don't need a ton of dexterity, but it's popped up that I have needed it here and there for different skill and support gems. All right, so let's get right into the crafting now. So as I mentioned, I picked up a bunch of these high energy shield bases. There's another base that's even better. This one right here, the Expert Hexer's Robe, which has high energy shield, but it doesn't have an implicit. What an implicit is that an implicit is an affix that won't change regardless of crafting. So on Expert Keth, every single Expert Keth raiment has increased mana regeneration rate. So it has a lower base energy shield roll on it than Expert Hexer, but it always is going to have percent increased mana regeneration. So that is something that's useful for my build. It's really useful for builds that want to go mind over matter, where you take damage from your mana before you take damage from your life. So that's just a little bit of additional information. So let's start off with the white bases first. I have a couple white bases, I have a couple magic bases, and we'll take a look at them and see what we can do here. So with the white base, the first thing you're always going to do is you're going to use your Transmute Orb. So Transmute Orb upgrades a white item to a magic item with 1 modifier. So let's go ahead. Let's look at the implicit first. So on this piece of gear, it's the lowest the roll can be. I'm holding Alt to see that information again. So right now it's 40% increased mana regeneration. It can go all the way up to 50%. So this isn't like an incredibly fantastic base. If it was like a 50% increased mana regen, I might just skip doing a transmute and then doing an Orb of Augmentation and just straight go to Alchemy Orb. Because with an Alchemy Orb, it upgrades a normal white base into a rare base, and it'll give it 4 modifiers. So you kind of skip all those preliminary steps, and you can just go straight from white to rare, which is sometimes useful. But we'll just go the beginning route and see what we get. So the first step, Orb of Transmute, pop it on. Ooh, life regen. Not good for this build. So it's a T8 life regen, which is a pretty high tier. for it, but I just don't need life regen. Now, for science sake, we're going to put an augment on there and see what else we get. You'll notice that that was a suffix. So it's more likely I'll roll an a prefix with the augmentation orb, but we'll see what we get. So here we go. Pop it on. Boom. I got flat energy shield, but it's only a tier 5 roll. So apparently there's 11 tiers of flat energy shield. If we look back here on our PoE DB, you'll see that up here under flat energy shield, this green icon indicates the number of tiers. But if you actually open it up, it's broken into 2 different ones. It also has armor and evasion down here. So there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tiers of energy shield. And what did we get? We got tier 5 out of 11. So that's not a super high roll. One other thing I want to mention, looking at the PoE DB, is that it shows the item level that's required for the base to be able to roll this highest tier. So it has to be an eye level 79 or higher to roll the highest tier of flat energy shield. Let's go back to our item and see what item level it is. So once again, hover over your item, hold Alt, and you see at the top, it's only item level 76. So it can't even roll the highest tier. So basically, the highest flat energy shield I could get on this item would be a tier 10. It's a tier 5 out of tier 10 with energy, with life regeneration, which is not good for this build, so we do not proceed to the next step. Next base, let's try this again. Look at that, 49% increase. That's 1 away from being the max amount of mana regeneration on the implicit. So this is a better base. It's also a higher item level base, but it's not 79, so it still can't roll that highest tier of flat energy shield. Let's see what we get. We got a tier 5 flat energy shield again. We got a reduced attribute requirements, which is a brick. Not something I want to see at all. We got a prefix and a suffix. On this one, we got a prefix and a suffix. So both these are bricked. We're not going to proceed. Next, we got a 44% implicit. Let's see what we get. Transmute, 96% increased energy shield. That's a tier 7% increased energy shield. Pretty good start. Let's see what else we get on the augment. Cold resistance, and it's a tier 6. So these are 2 affixes I definitely want to see, and they're high enough tier that I want to proceed to the next step. The next step is putting a regal orb on it. So regal orbs convert an item to a rare and give it 1 additional affix. So let's see what we get. Go over to the regal orb, and we're going to pop it on. We're hoping for more energy shield, spirit, or another resistance. Let's go. Woohoo! We got flat energy shield and a high tier. Tier 7 to flat energy shield. So now we have 2 energy shield rolls and we have a tier 6. So this is definitely a candidate to throw some exalts on it. Once again, we can have 6 affixes, not including the implicit, on any piece of gear. So I could exalt this up to 3 times. And we're going to go one at a time just to see what we get. So we want more energy shield. We want spirit. Ideally, we'd get spirit and chaos resistance. That would be the best affixes I could add with this next exalted orb for this piece of gear. So I'm going to open up. I'm going to pop in my first exalt. Let's go spirit or chaos. Life regen. Not good. And it's a pretty low roll. So you get you have a couple different options right here. Another crafting orb that you can be utilizing is the Chaos Orb. What this does, it removes a random modifier and then adds a random modifier. So if I wanted to take a chance right now, I have a 1 in 4 chance of removing life regen and replacing it with something else. So a 25% chance to maybe completely brick the item or make it God tier if I happen to land one of my things. So it's kind of a gamble. For the sake of this, I'm actually going to price it real quick. I'm using a pricing tool. So let's just see where this sits without life regen, see if it's worth anything. We'll lower these rolls a bit just so I can get a broader range of what we're looking at on the market. If you guys want to know about this tool, I'm happy to explain it. Come watch me stream live, ask all the questions. I'll help you acquire it. I'm not exactly sure how accurate it is at this moment, but it gives me some idea of what's going on in the market. It says this might be worth 1 divine. I mean, it's got 566 energy shield. Let's put this down to 540 just to see what pops up this time. Yeah, still 1 divine. Very interesting. And what it does, it's showing the energy shield. See here, if you hover over it, it says 472, but it's calculating it as if you were to have used a bunch of armor scraps to upgrade it to 20% quality. So that's where it would sit, would be at that 566 number. Now, what is my current base? It's only 433, so substantially higher. I think this is a candidate to exalt one more time. We're looking for chaos res, spirit, or another elemental resistance or more energy shield. Let's go. We got another elemental resistance. So we have 2 tier 6 elemental resistances. This item is looking pretty damn good. This would definitely sell on the market for a pretty hefty amount. And it's definitely a candidate to go all the way with it and throw on the last Exalt Orb. We really would love to see Spirit here or Chaos Resistance. Other acceptable things would be Lightning Resistance or additional Energy Shield. Let's go, baby, one time. Boom. I got a maximum life, and it's pretty low. So not terrible. It's an Energy Shield plus max life. Holy cow. So this is a fantastic item. Yeah, this is just absolutely wonderful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to price this item. Like, this could be an upgrade for me straight out the gate. Although mine has a really high life roll and it's also got plus to spirit, but it only has 1 resistance. And then I socketed in cold because that's what I needed at the time, cold resistance. This is probably an upgrade, but what I want to show you is how to go and price it using the trade site. So I'm going to bring up the trade site here. Give me 1 second. Should have had this ready for you guys, but I'll just have it up here in 1 second so we can take a look at this. All right. Here I have the trade site up. And what we're going to do is we're going to search, we're going to come down here to item category. We're going to type in body armor. We're going to select that. We're going to select energy shield down here and put in, what was our energy shield on this one? The max is 633. So we'll say any items we're looking at have to have a minimum of 600 energy shield. We've got fire and cold resistance higher than 30%. So we're going to go over here, type in fire resistance, 30%. Cold resistance, 30%. What else? I'm going to leave the max life off and the regeneration off. So this is essentially it. The one other thing that might be worth putting is putting in the specific base, Keth. We're not going to do that right out the gate because I want to see what we find just doing this. And it looks like this item that I've crafted here today is at least going to go for 1 divine. All the other items that are on the market right now already have 2 sockets. And they've even put in increased armor, evasion, and energy shield already to bump it up to the level of the item that I have. So I honestly think that the item we crafted right now, using a couple exalts, a regal, an orb of transmutation, and an orb of augmentation, is worth 1 divine. So we just made bank crafting that item. Pretty damn cool. the next thing you're going to want to do with this, it's probably good to do this before selling is, I mean, you could pop in your artificer orb and give it another socket. Here, let me turn this off so you can see what I'm talking about here. All right, so we could pop in an artificer orb, give it its 2 sockets, and then upgrade it to 20% quality with the armor scrap, so it's just straight up ready to go. But yeah, absolutely amazing. Very minimal currency invested, and we have a 1 divine item. Pretty fantastic. I'm excited about that. Let's just move on. So that's a great example there of a successful craft that made us a bunch of money. This next one, it's already a magic item. I kind of want to look at it. It's got tier 8 energy shield and tier 5 intelligence. This could be a regal candidate, but it's kind of on the fence. Attributes are not the most important thing that I'm wanting to get. Although for other builds that, like I said, are using the node mind over matter on the passive skill tree, really prioritize mana and mana regeneration, and intelligence does give you additional mana. So for those types of builds, it could be highly valuable. For my specific build, intelligence isn't the largest priority, but we can definitely regal this and see what happens with it. So we're going to pop on the regal orb, and we got another increased energy shield, more energy shield. So that was a fantastic roll for our regal. We're definitely going to exalt this. Again, we're looking for more energy shield. We're looking for spirit. We're looking for resistances. Let's see what we get. Life. Life is not the worst thing to acquire, and that was an energy shield with plus to life roll. So that's actually fantastic. We got 3 prefixes that are all energy shield. The only suffix right now we have is intelligence. So we can roll 2 more suffixes on this. We're looking for chaos resistance, ideally. That's the number 1 we can get to increase the value of this item. Or high tier elemental resistances. Let's see what we get. Cold res, tier 7. So streamer luck in the best example here. Oh my gosh. We're just rolling items, divine items, no problem. Just throw a couple exalts on stuff and you get a couple divines. Cool. We're going to proceed clearly. We have one more thing we can pop on this. We'd really love to see chaos resistance, but any other elemental resistance is going to be fantastic. Let's go one time. Pass me the sugar. Lightning resistance. Bam. Tier 3. Not the highest tier, but it's not a bad roll. This item will definitely sell. So over here we got 528 energy shield without upgrading the quality. Over here we got 486 energy shield without upgrading the quality. So this item is definitely better. This could probably sell for more than 1 exalt. I mean more than 1 divine, or 1 divine to be safe. This one could possibly sell for 1 divine, but it might be a little bit less than that. Maybe we put it up there for 40x or something like that. But pretty cool. We can go back to the trade side if you guys want to check the new one out. We'll do it real quick as an exercise. So it's the same base. One thing to mention is these are expert hexer robes. So mine, in addition to be it's substantially better than this item right now. The reason is because I haven't put in sockets yet. So mine still has a lot of space to be upgraded. And I have the implicit that gives it mana regeneration. So substantially better. What I want to do is I want to change this. And I'm actually just going to look at the exact base that we're looking at, which is the Expert Keth Raiment. Let's see what pops up with the original search for this. Here we go. So now we're looking at only a couple items on the market that are going to sell for 1 divine. 1 divine, 1 divine. And our item is definitely better than this one, I would say. The first item recrafted. Easily. Because it doesn't have sockets in it yet with that increase. And it's debatable. It's definitely on par with this one. This has a really high life roll, which is kind of nice. But, our item is probably better than both of these. Let's look at our second item. Our second item, instead we got 40 cold res and 20 lightning. 40 cold and 20 lightning. So we type in lightning resistance, we'll put in 20. And you can vary these to go slightly less, just in case you want to see, a little bit more of your competition. And the max energy shield after qualitying on our second item we crafted was 583. So we're actually just going to put in 575 to see what pops up. Again, all of these are already just one divine minimum, and they already have sockets in them. So crazy. I'm not going to socket mine. That's just mean to do. They're doing this so they appear higher in search results for people looking for high level energy shield. But honestly, most people are going to want to socket in more resistances and the resistances they need. So this actually devalues the item. It makes it easier to find in trade, and more likely people find it in trade, but it devalues it because you can't replace these with what you're actually wanting currently in the game. I think you should be able to replace the socketed items, just overwrite them, but that's another discussion. So again, this second item that we crafted, easily another divine. So far in our crafting experiment with just a handful of bases right here, we've made 2 divines, pretty easily. Very successful. So let's just go finish up the last couple bases we have here. Again, this one we have max life, and it's a tier 8 and stun threshold. So I'm holding Alt. If you hold Alt and hover over this, in case you didn't know, increasing your stun threshold makes it less likely that being hit by an enemy will stun you. So it's not worthless, but it's not the most important thing we want to see on it. I'm actually not going to regal this. I don't think it's worth a regal. Because unless it was like a tier 10 life, maybe I'd consider it. But I'm just going to leave it alone. I don't need to craft on that. And here's another example. Tier 6 regen, terrible. Augments are basically free, so we'll pop it on just to see what we get as a second one. We got 45 spirit. So spirit has up to 8 tiers. So this is only a tier 4 spirit. Definitely not worth popping a regal on. So I'd say this crafting was a great success. We used, 6 exalts, and we're going to profit 2 divines pretty easily. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So you can do this with any base. One other additional thing I want to show you for the people that want to be super diligent and be good at crafting. There's another section in PoE DB that shows you all the bases for different items. I'm going to show you how to get to that. So you can come and find out what the best bases are for your class. So to get to that, if you're in PoE DB, you come over here to items, go to items, and then today we're gonna select body armor as our example. It's gonna default to showing you the uniques. If you're build planning, come check out the uniques, see if any of them are gonna be relevant to what you're building. But right now we're just crafting out rare items. So we're gonna go over to this tab where it shows just all of the base items that are not unique. Specifically today, we're looking at bases that have energy shield. So if you pop down here to the search, ENERGY, you're going to only see bases that have energy shield on them. You're then going to scroll to the very bottom so you can see the highest level bases. Well, the highest level bases are hybrid, evasion, and energy shield, which is not what we're looking for because they're only 84 energy shield. So these are all hybrids. There's 101 energy shield on this. Excuse me. 101. But if you come back up here to pure energy shield bases, look, there's a lot higher starting for energy shield. 153, 153. And of course, expert hexer has the highest, 184. So I can tell that it's basically these 3 bases that are the highest level bases I could use for crafting if I'm trying to craft energy shield based armor. So expert hexers doesn't have an implicit. Expert altar has faster start of energy shield recharge, which is pretty cool. And the example we used today was expert Keth, which has increased mana regeneration rate as an implicit. So you can do this with any item. So let's say, for example, we want to go look at, instead of armor, we're going to look at what's the best helmets I can get that are energy shield based. So we go back to there, we go to helmets, we go to this tab to look at the white bases. We type in energy shield, we type in energy, that's enough, and scroll to the very bottom. Again, the highest ones are hybrid, evasion, and energy shield. That's not what we're looking for because we know if it's pure energy shield, it's going to be a higher energy shield roll. So right up here, we got these 2. Expert feathered tiara has 101 energy shield base, and expert chain has 92. So that's kind of acceptable. The number 1 base for energy shield pure energy shield builds is right here, Expert Feathered Tiara. So you can use that to figure out, hey, what bases do I want to collect to craft on? Because of course you want to be using your currency on only the best bases. So that's a great example of how to do that. So that was my crafting guide for body armor today, and specifically for energy shield enjoyers, and even more specifically, people that want to run minions or need high, spirit rolls to maximize their build. I'd say this is phenomenally successful. I hope that you guys can use this information to craft and upgrade gear for yourself, or craft gear that you can then sell for lots of currency and buy exactly what you need for your specific build. As always, guys, I stream often. I'm streaming on YouTube, I'm streaming on Twitch, and I am at Cyclone9 if you want to come find me. You can always ask me questions while I'm streaming about my build, about mechanics, about crafting, or just come and hang out for the entertainment. I love to have people in chat. It makes the streams more interesting. So I'd love to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, hey, I'm a brand new creator in PoE 2. So like every like and every subscribe is so meaningful for me. Every comment I'm going to read and I'm going to reply to. So like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot to me, and it means that I can keep creating more of these videos. It's going to indicate to me that you guys are enjoying the content and you want to see more of it. It's free to you, so like, comment, and subscribe. Really do appreciate it. This is Cyclone9 signing off. Yo, what's up, Ark? I was just now looking at comments, man. Up to tier 11, baby, getting it done. I love to see that, man. I think I'm on, I'm on tier 14, so I did grind a little bit off stream. Um, that crafting video was what's up, dude. I'm super happy about that. I don't know why it's not loading my comments. I have to look at them on my phone, or my chats, I should say, for YouTube. But yo, that's awesome, dude. I'm glad you're at tier 11, rocking it. God, I just crafted 2 divine items, which is rad, and one of them might be an upgrade. Pretty cool. Great for a crafting stream. I'm gonna do like a several part series and craft each piece of gear that I'm wanting to upgrade, because it's important to understand what you're trying to get, Oh, awesome. Yeah. Um, and this is what I'm realizing. You don't have to use PoE but it's so useful to just have a target. Because when I was just going about it willy-nilly, I'm looking at, is this high enough energy shield? Does this have a high enough resistance? I was using my regals too liberally. I know you get a lot of them, but I'm picking up a lot of white bases just to see what I can get. And I was just like willy-nilly throwing a regal on there for fun, and even wasting some exalts just experimenting. But like, I did my research before doing this, and I knew exactly what I was looking for and when to stop, right? I left a couple of these bases just as magic bases, whereas before I might have thrown a regal on there and then gambled with an exalt, and it's just not worth it. Like, if you go look at the prices of items, you're better off using those exalts just to buy items off trade rather than gambling with, semi-mediocre rolls on your gear. But I was really happy with the outcome of these 2 items here. In fact, man, these might definitely be an upgrade. In fact, they are for sure. I'm going to quality one up. I think it's got to be this one, Fire and Cold. Yeah. I would lose 54 spirit, though. Oh, it's hard. I don't really want to lose 54 spirit. Yeah, I know it's hard, man. I mean, the game's designed so you can just play it and you don't have to go do these types of things. But if you want a min-max, like having two monitors where I can go and look up stuff and use the trade site on my separate monitor is just like, you know, that's the easiest way to min-max your stuff. But I mean, sitting on a couch and playing on a controller sounds way more comfortable to me. And oftentimes I feel like it would be cool to be sitting on the couch and playing. I have a controller here I can plug into my PC. I haven't even tried it yet. So used to using keyboard and mouse. But dude, I want to do couch co-op. That sounds so freaking fun. I don't have homies nearby me that even play Path of Exile. So, um, yeah, that sucks a little bit. Would love that. Couch co-op Path of Exile 2 sounds amazing to me. Yeah. So I guess I'll run a couple maps, man. I need to do some exercising. So what did I say here? I'm gonna get rid of these other bases that were not successful. Pop, 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 pop. Put these up for one divine. I need to clear out some crap from my inventory, really. Or from my stash tab. Yeah. I'm gonna get more regals. I'm gonna just put all this stuff. I'm about to get spammed, but it's okay.
What can I do for you?
Yeah, I'm gonna disenchant this whole tab of alk of items that I had priced for one alk. Get some shards for more crafting.
On the work. Hello. I'll be here. Wait. What can I do for you?
Cool. Now that's empty. Gonna change this from every item at exact price, one orb of alchemy, to each item individually priced. And call it money. Yeah, this is really good. I might put this up for 2 divine. Put this up for 1 divine. Let's make some money. Yeah, divine orbs, last I checked, they were like 60 exalts or something. Let's go look at the currency exchange. Oh man, I got a tip and trick for you that I'll probably make a video on. I'll show you in a second. Yeah, all right, divine orb. Let's see if what you can get in the currency exchange. 84! 84.5 is how much they cost. 84.5 exalts. 84 exalts for 1 divine orb. Look at that. Yeah. That's pretty high. Oh yeah, so my tip and trick that's been awesome for me actually, and it's getting me way more loot that I'm gonna make a video on eventually, is I went in here and I bought a bunch of, well, I had some already in my delirium tab. So you get these distilled emotions from doing delirium in your maps. You probably have some of these. Well, you can anoint an amulet, which is really cool. I'll probably do a video on that as well, how to anoint an amulet. But I have 65 of this distilled ire. I've been putting these on every single map that I have that I'm running. So let me pop out my items. Oh my gosh. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. I got this Omen that will heal me my life mana and energy shield when I reach low life. You got to make sure your omens are activated when you're in your inventory, and it's basically like a save your ass type of omen. So if I almost die, this pops all my stuff back to full. So it's like a second life. Really cool. I only have it activated if I'm running the tier of maps that are for my quest. So this tier 14. So you can look at this tier 14 up there at the top. 60% increased magic monsters. Players in area are 21% delirious. So you can use these distilled emotions. I'd only use the distilled ire because they're really inexpensive. Some of the distilled emotions are worth like 120x. So don't use those ones for upgrading your maps, but this one is super cheap. I was buying them like 5 per 1 exalt. Well, you can upgrade any map, and I'll show you how right now. You have a tier 12? Okay. Do you have a tier 13? No. All right. I'll do it with this tier 12, just as an example. So on any waystone or map, you always want to be putting on a transmute and an orb of augmentation. So you always want to craft on every single waystone. I hope you're already doing this. You want to put in an orb of transmute because it gives you more waystone drop chance on that one, and then an orb of augmentation. So it increased the number of rares, but I also am cursed with temporal chains. But this increases the drops. Now, if I right click on these distilled ires, it brings up this crafting window. You can put an amulet in here, and you can get a node on the passive tree for free by using the distilled emotions. I'll do a video on that. It's kind of complex topic. But at any rate, you can pop a map in there too. So I pop my map in there, pop 3 of these distilled ires in, and then hit instill. Now, on this, I get 60% increased magic monsters. Players in area are 21% delirious. So this makes my maps have delirium monsters. They drop more stuff. There's more magic monsters dropping more stuff, giving me more experience. So I get more monsters and I get better drops by doing that. So I've been doing this on every single map, and it has paid for itself in spades. Pretty cool. So now I have 2 maps I can run here. We'll run the tier 12 for funsies. Turn this off. Yeah, you can craft your tablets too, and I would highly recommend crafting your tablets. Before I use any tablets, I also craft them with a transmute and an orb of augmentation. Every single one. Without fail. I'm never going to run a blank map because I want to utilize my time the most and utilize my waystones the most. So I found that putting on those distilled ires they just pay for themselves because, like I said, I was buying them from the currency exchange. With 1 exalt, you can get like 5 of them. So for 1 exalt, right now, if I'm trying to buy a distilled ire, yeah, it's 5 to 1. I can get 5 for 1, which means I can almost instill 2 maps. It pays for itself so much because you're dropping these simulacrum splinters, which you need 3 of them to create this, which is basically something you can put in as a waystone. That's like a special area. But yeah, this game, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. I don't want to get too much into the rabbit hole here, but once you put delirium on your map, you drop these simulacrum splinters. These themselves are worth almost 1 exalt per piece. I get 3 to 6 of these per map. So if you're doing math here, like I'm just printing currency by adding the delirium to my maps. So check this out. I got the tier 12. I added delirium. Let's go run it. See what we get. What do I want to do? Let's run this forge. Why not? No, let's I want to venture to another tower if I can. So I'm going to venture forward. We'll run creek with... Oh, I can't run creek? Oh, this tower hasn't been run yet. I'll just run this tower. That's fine. Run it with the tier 12. Yeah, so use your distilled ire to instill your maps, and you will get way more currency. If you want to sell your simulacrum shards, I'd be making 6 exalt easy just in those per map. It's wild. This is my first map of the day, so I expect my computer to be ornery with me for a moment. And there's so many more rare monsters, so you're just increasing your drops in general, you're increasing your experience that you're gaining, your gold, all of it. Oh my gosh. My all my minions are trapped. There's a simulacrum right out the gate. All my minions are back here not doing any damage. I'm like, what's going on, minions? That's why these tower maps, they need to be changed. These are like the worst maps. Rare ruby ring, don't mind if I do. And it comes with these little bubbles that spawn monsters now. It spawns delirium monsters. Oh, I love this. Big tips and tricks for this, dude. Adding the delirium to your map is clutch. I don't think a lot of people are doing it, and it's not like I'm a big content creator or something like that. So once I make a video, more people are going to be buying up those distilled ires from the currency exchange, so they're going to go up in price. But right now, they're super cheap. If people were doing this, they'd be like, wow. Way more experience, way more drops. Harder maps, though. No doubt about it. This is a terrible map with burning ground. Burning ground is bad for energy shield. Because it keeps interrupting your recharge. Here, I want to read your comment, but I can't see it except for on my phone. No. I still have. I mean, you can go buy divine orbs. So, I mean, you can straight up go buy divine orbs, but honestly, the more valuable use of them right now is crafting with them. Crafting with them to find some items that you can sell for divine. But I mean, if you have a crap ton of exalts and you really just want to buy items and you're only fighting items that are worth divine, you can always offer that person, hey, I'll give you 70 exalted. So whisper them. If it costs 1 divine, say, hey, I'll give you 60 exalts. And they'll accept that because it's currency is currency. Or if they really won't, they're like, say they want divine only, just go trade your exalts for divine in the currency exchange. So they're definitely not worthless. They won't ever be worthless. But yeah, the market, as people get into like late tier maps, there's another exalt. People are making tons of money, tons of currency now. Like I was running tier 14s last night off stream, and I was like, with the delirium on him, and I was like, holy cow! Like now I see why people are just printing currency. Honestly, you should just run low tier maps when you're running towers, because the towers are so crap. They don't have high monster density or anything. So it's not worth running any sort of valuable map. But I wanted to do it for the stream's sake, to put in that map that I had instilled with delirium. And we already got an exalt. We've got, what, how many simulacrums? Just 1 right now. So, we already got 2 exalts worth of drops, like raw currency that, you don't have to sell any items. It's raw currency. You can go easily exchange it for any type of currency you want. And trade with it as needed. Woody woot woot woot. Tons of good stuff. Another simulacrum splinter. Basically one exalt. I'm gonna run one more map before I go do some video editing. Pop up that video I just made about crafting.
Death, take you.
Yeah, 13k energy shield, just chilling. It's not going to happen until the new year, but energy shield will definitely be nerfed. So, like, utilize this build to make as much currency as you can, but expect nerfs incoming on energy shield. Not till after everyone from GGG gets back from holiday, though.
All part of my plan.
It's a really large nerf, though, that affects a lot of different builds, and that's why they do it immediately. And they may just nerf Grim Feast, which is the persistent buff skill that I'm running. I'm sure you're running it too, that allows you to overcap your energy shield to double. That's probably actually how they'll approach the nerf. Because I don't necessarily think the energy shield overall needs to be nerfed, but being able to get 20k energy shield in some instances, people are getting that, seems pretty overpowered. So I've found on non-tower maps when I use my distilled emotions to add delirium to my maps, there's also a delirium boss. And the boss consistently has dropped 3 simulacrum shards. Again, those are worth about 1 exalt apiece. So it's like a guaranteed 3x drop on every map. It's pretty wild.
Remnants of a dead empire.
You know what they should do is they should give minions phasing, at least through each other. I mean, look at my minions over here. That should not happen. Like, corridors need to be wide enough, or they need to give minions phasing, even if they only give them phasing on them, on other minions. But, like, they're just blocking themselves. Sad. That's why these maps are so freaking terrible for this type of build. I wonder if the minion AI is different on console at all. 28 monsters remaining. I'm OCD. I really am. It's a waste of time to be running up here to kill 28 monsters, but hey, let's do it anyway. Maybe it's my divine orb. Maybe it's my perfect... It's a map. Okay. Take it. Another simulacrum. 2 more simulacrums. Totally worth it. Alright, that's it for that. So, in raw currency, we made about... Just in simulacrums, we made about, 3.5 exalts. We got 2 exalt drops. So, for 5.5 exalts on that map, just in raw currency. I mean, we got a Vol Orb, we got a Glass Blowers, we got maps, we got a Chance Shard. So, we made 8-10 exalts on that map. And our investment to, make the map drop more stuff was like about 0.5 exalts to put on that delirium. So very much worth it. I'm not running any maps without it anymore. I'll put some of this stuff in my crafting tab. Garbage. Actually, stone threshold. Tier 10, huh? I'll put it in the crafting tab. Garbage. Double rarity, huh? Double rarity and pretty high mana. Doubt this is worth anything. 2 exalts. Alright. People like their rarity gear. Again, rarity and crit. Life mana. Not bad. Really? Let's see what this is worth. See if it's worth 5x. Got this ring, 3 resistances and evasion on a perfect fire resistance base. Wow. With chaos, oh my god, I just dropped like a god tier ring. Holy cow. Wild. Gotta get my comments back up. My chats. Holy crap, god tier ring. I mean, maybe not god tier, but pretty freaking good. 5 divine. Holy. If I can exalt this and get life or energy shield, what? Let's bring up PoE database, of course, the trusty resource. What can I roll on rings again? Can I roll energy shield? No. Can't roll energy shield. God, this is good. This is gonna be 4 divine.
Speak. Go.
I need to organize my stash tabs, put them in tiers. All right, we're gonna run one more map, big map, tier 14, instilled with delirium, rare map. Kind of a hard map. I should take it easy on this one. I need to get another tablet to juice up my maps even more. I'm doing irradiated mainly. More rare monsters, gonna augment it, of course. Always craft your tablets. Cool. Rare monsters have additional modifiers. More modifiers, more loot, baby. Let's pop that in here. I like it. I like it a lot. Creek, let's run this Creek map with our tier 14 and see what we get. Yeah, and you know, it's early access still, Arc. So like they'll reset the economy. They'll probably reset. See, look, there's a boss in this map. Woohoo, a delirium boss. They're gonna reset the economy, I think, at least once. Reset everything at least once before full release. Oh my god, he's right at the start. And he's coming for me. 4 simulacrum shards. About 3.5 exalts on that. It's like a guaranteed drop. Golden Charm. Cool. Let's not die while I'm picking up stuff. Let's just not die in this map at all. Stop looking at things. Kill the monsters before they kill you. Look, these delirium mobs, though, they're aggressive. Like, they run fast at you. So you want to make sure you're on point if you're putting the delirium on your maps. Ooh. Yeah, well, mob density increases mob density a lot. So, like, every map is juicy. Look at these guys, though. Holy moly. Was this a map with Beyond? I can't remember. Like, yeah, I think those are Beyond mobs. Tier 2? What is up with that? Give me some tier 14s, please. I need map sustain over here. Give me some map sustain. I want one tier 14 in this map, please. At least. Minimum. No, taunting me with that tier 2. Simulacrum. Love it. Don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. Nice base to craft on.
A beautiful murder.
A beautiful murder.
None can
Tier
oppose
10, tier 4. Not what I'm looking for, guys. Not what I'm looking for. I'll pick them up, but I'm not happy about it. Combine those two. Add them up. We need that tier 14. Or 15. That's acceptable. That is acceptable. Whoa. Hey now. Hey now. Hey now. Don't come and kill me. Dude, I'm still sick. I'm breathing through my mouth right now. Oh god, it sucks. More rare mobs. Tier 14, don't mind if I do. Baby, let's go. Woo! Another simulacrum splinter. Yeah, I mean, how many have we gotten in this map already? Is it 6 or 7?
I am the apex.
Another tier 14. The map sustain is real. The map sustain is real. Acceleration Shrine, my favorite. Woohoo! I mean, rarity shrines are pretty good, but acceleration, yeah, I'm here for it. Another great crafting base. Oh, didn't mean to pick that up. Ah!
I need more time.
Cool. Raw Exalt.
Too much clutter.
Too much clutter. Block chance life. I don't think this is good enough. I could be wrong. Let's see what this is. Definitely not. Can drop that.
No.
Garbage. Garbage. So much loot. Like, especially if I'm picking up crafting bases. I gotta chill with the crafting bases. Look at these guys. They're out for blood. Yo, chill out, guys. Chill out. Try and play a friendly game here. Family game.
No.
Family game.
Boom. No.
Alright. We complete this map. Gonna blow my nose. So I'm not just, like, breathing out of my mouth and feeling terrible. And we're gonna do 20 push-ups, so I hope you do them with me. Definitely 20 push-ups. And then we'll discuss what is next. I probably will turn off the stream for a little while, do some video editing, pop up that new video on how to craft divine worthy items or upgrades for your equipment. And then once I'm done and that's actually up, I'll come back and stream a little bit more. Oh god, blow my nose now. Apologies.
Yes.
Gotta do what you gotta do, right? Let's look at this. So let's look at the block armor evasion. Let's look at life, fire res. That's pretty much all we need here. Not really worth anything. That's kind of what I suspected. What is this? No. 30 attack speed. What tier is that? It's only tier 4. Wow. Or 30 attack speed. I mean 30 dex. 15 attack speed. No. No. Oh, these belts are worth like 4x. It's a pretty bad one. I can put it in the 2x category. You guys can have it. Got another rare charm. These are, I got 4 of them. That's pretty much all I really need, I'm sure. Sell the remainder of these items. Pop, 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 pop. And head back in. Yep, that didn't take long. I can sell it for 4. I should have just put it up for 4. I'm gonna get spammed. I don't even want to go and do that right now. Another raw exalt. See, my time is better spent here. I'm selling a 2 exalt item. You know what? You can have it, guy. Just gotta wait. Holy loot. Holy loot. So much. Like, eventually I'm not going to be picking up as much loot. But I'm doing it for science right now. You know, I gotta learn. Gotta learn. I want to learn more and more about the market. You're second in line, buddy. You're second in line. This first guy doesn't come, swoop it.
I am the apex. Another corpse to serve.
Map complete. One more for the quest.
How useful.
Moving right along. It's been a long time since I've ripped. I still have that omen. Fun times, fun times.
Yes.
You can have it. It's your lucky day. It's your lucky day. Have a good one. Happy hunting. Alright, I need to start just crafting my bases on the fly, not saving them for more content. Not terrible. Is it really worth 1 divine? I somehow doubt it. Let's put it up for 19x. Garbage. Garbage. Garbage, garbage, garbage. All right, boys and girls, it's been a lovely stream. We're gonna sell this item for 1 exalt. I still have items for sale for 1 exalt. Oh my god, I need to change this. Why not? I'm here. I'm hanging out. Come get it, buddy. Come get it fast. Have a nice day. All right, we're gonna do 20 push-ups while live on stream. Come get it. Get it with me. Here we go. Woohoo! There we go. 20 push-ups in the bank. Thanks guys for coming and hanging out. Ark, you're the boss man, hanging out, chatting with me. I really enjoy your company. I hope you enjoyed the stream. The video on crafting will be up soon, so enjoy that as well. This is Cyclone9 signing off. Peace, love, and abundance to you all. Be well.